So, if you're in the world of online content, you've probably noticed a whole bunch of new acronyms popping up everywhere. SEO, GEO, AIO. It can feel like we're all trying to learn a new language on the fly. So let's get into it, because these aren't just buzzwords. They really signal a huge change in how we all find information online.
And that really brings up a pretty scary question for anyone who creates content or runs a business. Is your website basically becoming invisible? And it's a totally valid fear. As search engines are changing so dramatically, the old rulebook doesn't quite work anymore, and the very things that used to bring you tons of traffic might now be getting completely ignored.
But hey, don't panic. The way we find information is absolutely changing, but it's not some impossible code to crack. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to decode the future of search together. I promise, by the end of this, you'll have a really clear picture of what these new terms mean and, more importantly, why they matter so much. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the world of SEO, the foundation we're all familiar with. Then we'll dive into the big AI disruption that's shaking everything up. From there, we'll get super clear on what GEO and AIO actually are, and then we'll tie it all together to see how it forms one single modern strategy.
All right, first things first. Let's start with something we all know pretty well. Section 1, the world of SEO, which is really where this whole story began.
For what feels like forever, the name of the game has been search engine optimization, or SEO. The goal was pretty straightforward, right? You tweak your content, your blog posts, your website pages to climb up that list of blue links on Google. The higher your rank, the more clicks you got. Simple as that. That was the whole deal. But now we're smack in the middle of a massive shift. And I want to be clear, this isn't just another little Google algorithm update we're used to. This is a top-to-bottom disruption, and it's all being driven by artificial intelligence. This AI search disruption is the very reason we even have to talk about these new strategies. So, how big of a deal is this, really? Well, check this out. As of May 2025, almost half, 49% of all Google search results have an AI overview right at the very top of the page. Just a few months before that, it was only 25%. I mean, that is moving at lightning speed. And this right here, this quote, it just nails the core of this whole shift. Google is no longer just a search engine. It's an answer engine. Think about it. It's not just pointing you to a bunch of websites anymore. It's actually reading them for you and spitting out a single, synthesized answer. Okay, so what does that actually mean for websites? Well, it means fewer clicks, a lot fewer. Studies are already showing that when one of those AI overviews appears, click-through rates can drop anywhere from 18% to a frankly terrifying 64%. Because if people get their answer right at the top, why would they scroll down? And that right there is a huge threat to the way we've always thought about website traffic. And that threat brings us right to our first new acronym, which is really the playbook for this new reality. So let's break down GEO. It's all about making your content the source for those AI answers. All right, so what in the world is GEO? It stands for Generative Engine Optimization. The easiest way to think about it is this. You're not trying to get on a list of links anymore. Now you're trying to get your content quoted directly inside the AI's answer. It's all about making your articles so clear, so authoritative, that when an AI needs information, it picks you to cite. Your goal is to become that go-to, trusted source that the AI itself looks to. So let's just boil it down to the essentials. With old-school SEO, the goal was to get your link as high up on the page as possible. With GEO, the goal is for your information to become the answer itself. You're not aiming for the list anymore. You're aiming to be the answer. It's a totally different game. Okay, so if GEO is our destination, becoming the answer, what's the vehicle to get us there? Well, that brings us to AIO. This is all about using AI as your toolkit to get the job done smarter and faster. So, AIO, what's that about? Honestly, this one's a lot more straightforward. It stands for Artificial Intelligence Optimization. Put simply, it's just using AI to help you do your job better. It's using tools like ChatGPT or other platforms to speed up your keyword research, brainstorm better content ideas, and analyze your performance. You're leveraging AI to get better at both SEO and GEO. Okay, let's put these two side by side one more time so it really sinks in. GEO is focused on the output.
The goal is to make content that an AI will actually cite. AIO, on the other hand, is focused on the process. It's about using those AI tools to help you create that content in the first place. GEO is what you want to achieve. AIO is using smart tools to help you get there.
Okay, so we've got our old friend SEO and these two new players, GEO and AIO. The big question is, how do they all fit together? Because it's not about picking one. It's about seeing them as layers of a single modern strategy.
You know, I saw this great quote on Reddit that just perfectly sums it up. It says, "It's not GEO versus AIO versus AI. It's all the same wave hitting us from different angles." And that is just so true. They aren't competing ideas, they're just different sides of the same massive change that's happening.
So here's maybe the best way to visualize it. Think of it like building something. Your traditional SEO is the foundation. You still need a technically healthy website, and you still need to build authority. Then AIO comes in as your strategy enhancer. You use these tools to build faster and smarter. And finally, GIO is that top layer, that finishing touch, where you optimize everything to be visible and citable by AI. All right, this chart here really lays it all out nice and neat. Let's just quickly run through it. With SEO, the goal is traffic from high rankings. With GEO, the goal is getting your content cited in AI answers. And with AIO, the goal is just pure efficiency, using AI to get better at the other two. You can see they target different platforms and use different metrics, but they all work together towards the same big picture, visibility. Look, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. User behavior has fundamentally changed. We've gone from searching for a list of options to asking for a direct answer. That single shift is what's driving this entire evolution. And make no mistake, this isn't some 5 years from now kind of thing. This is happening right now. A whopping 90% of B2B buyers are already using generative AI somewhere in their buying process. If you ignore this, you're not just missing out. You're risking a serious decline in both traffic and your brand's authority. Getting on board with this isn't just a good idea. It's about making sure your content strategy even has a future. And all of this really comes down to one final, really important question you need to ask yourself. In this new world, where people want answers, not links, is your content ready to be that answer?